Okay, thank you. Hi everybody. As you heard, my name's Anzal. I've spent my entire adult life training so that I can say that I am a lawyer. Okay? And perhaps most importantly, I'm the owner of this really cute dog. So I also make games, and I make them largely in the sphere of what some people like to call serious games. And the kinds of things that I've made games on are games for prosecutors in Kenya, peace building, social and emotional learning, politics, mental health. So in my short time in this space, what I've seen is that not all serious games are created equal. There seems to be a lot of general excitement about some types of serious games, like language learning and Duolingo, but the same kind of excitement isn't offered to games that are perhaps considered a bit more political. And we've seen this with Gamergate. We've seen this with the backlash to The Last of Us 2. We saw this with Boyfriend Dungeon, and among many, 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 many others. And I went to a conference last year where one of the speakers said, "I hate the word serious games because it makes games sound boring." And I, like Marie, I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna say that the problem is not the term serious game. The problem is the fact that we don't associate the serious things as capable of being fun. I would argue that something being serious and something being fun is not opposite of each other, but actually enrich each other in really wonderful, meaningful ways. So the legendary game and UX designer Nicole Lazzaro came up with the 4 keys of fun after vigorously studying why people enjoy games. And she came up with these 4 keys. And she says that the best games use at least 3 of them. So there's easy fun, which is about imagination and exploration. There's people fun, which is about experiencing something with other people. There's hard fun, which is about mastering something. And serious fun, which is about providing meaning and value to something. And I want to talk about the last 2 mainly. So hard fun is about mastery. It relies on you being frustrated. It relies on you being frustrated over and over again until you reach this point where you're ready to give up and throw away your controller. And at that point, it gives you a win. And that feeling is incredible. That feeling is called fiero. The next thing I want to talk about is serious fun. Now this is about providing a meaningful experience to the player. It allows players to be excited, relax, learn, grow, change their perspectives about something. And I want to talk about 2 games that use 2 serious games that use these things really well. So the first game is called, which you might know, is called This War of Mine by 11-Bit Studios. The vision of this game was to create a story about civilians at war and depict real conditions and how people coped with them. It was inspired, the concept of it came from the siege at Sarajevo and the stories of people's experiences during it. But the developers said that they wanted players to feel like there was no safe place in the game. The lead programmer even said, "We wanted to set a trap where every decision the player made is the wrong one." So this game, it's serious, it's punishing, there's no resolve. You could say there's never any fiero, which is what I talked about earlier. There's no epic win. But it's still a fun game because it provides a meaningful experience to you while being one of the most serious things about the human experience. The second game I want to talk about is called Breaking Harmony Square. In this game, you're the chief disinformation officer, and your task is to reduce this peaceful town to rubble by using only your powers of information control. Now, the context here is that information which is misleading and manipulative takes up far more space on the internet than information that is actually false. So they wanted to create a game where you could identify misleading content and be able to react to it. And people who played this game were studied, and it showed that they were much better at identifying context and dealing with it. So it takes you out of the real world by making you make decisions about things like pineapple on pizza. But after playing this game, you learn real techniques about how to identify misinformation and disinformation. So it plays on your hard, fun desire. You get an epic win, even if that win is you have destroyed a community. So But the other game, This War of Mine, does something really different. The realness of it comes from the narrative in the universe, whereas there are more liberties taken in the mechanics. But, sorry, do you mind if I wrap up quickly? Thank you. So, whereas I would say that Breaking Harmony Square does the opposite thing. It takes you out of the real world, but through its mechanics teaches you something really serious. And that's why I love the term serious games, because frankly, there's nothing that these games have in common, other than the fact that their social goals are at the forefront of their mission. And that's why I want to say that people talk a lot about games inspiring real action. What I want to say is let real action inspire your games. Thank you.